Hey there, and welcome to Real Estate in 10 with Dan Francis. I am your real estate go-to mortgage pro here in Scottsdale, Arizona. And in this channel, we will put together strategies and tips and tricks that will help you negotiate better deals, get better listings as a realtor, and as a buyer, we're going to help you with better strategies and programs available to help you get into the market today. So stay tuned. Whether you're an investor, a first-time home buyer, or a realtor, this is the right channel for you. So in today's episode, it's going to be titled, Why Buyers Are Still Buying at 6.5 to 7% Interest Rates. So there's a lot of different factors that go into this. Number one is going to be buyers are just adjusting their expectations right now. When home prices came up and rates came up, buyers were in shock, and especially the millennials. They were in shock because they just felt like everything was out of reach, and that $2,500 a month payment or $3,000 a month payment just was too much of a sticker shock for them to get into it right away. Now they're adjusting. Now they're starting to go, all right, that's what I'm going to have to do. Prices aren't going to be coming down. I'm starting to accept the fact that rates are going to be somewhere in the 6.5 to 7% range. Maybe with some strategies, I can get a little bit better rate. We'll talk about that soon. But so they're adjusting their expectations, and they're realizing, yeah, I'm going to have to come in with a little bit higher payment if I'm going to get into a house. So they're still out there. They know they got to get into a home, and they're still going forward with some of those things. So they're not stepping away. Number two, there's life events that are happening out there. So we call it like the 5Ds before, but some of the major things are divorce is a big factor, right? So sometimes you have that house has to get sold. Both spouses need to go buy a new house somewhere. So there's going to be opportunity for them to go buy a new house somewhere. So divorce is a big thing. There's going to be new jobs. Maybe they're relocating to Arizona right now or some other state. Of course, we lend in most of the states. So maybe it is that they've grown their family. Now they've got, instead of one kid, they've got 2 kids or 3 kids or 4 kids, and now they need a bigger space. I talked to a client the other day. This was exactly what happened to them. They're living in a 1,600 square foot home. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and now they've got 3 kids. They were doubling up everybody before, but now they're busting at the seams and they need to get a new place. So both parents work and they can afford to do it. And so now they're selling that home and upgrading to the next house. So there's a lot of different things out there that are happening right now. The other thing is the strategies on finance. So I was at an event last week, and here's what I overheard. I overheard a person say, man, it's so great. I went to a new build and they're offering me 2.99% financing forever. I'm so excited. I got the same rates that everybody else got in 2019. And I was just trying not to say anything, right? Because you and I both know that that's not a fixed rate for 30 years. That's an introductory rate. So let me break that down for those who may not know or understand what that really means. What that really means is you might have an interest rate at, let's say, 6.99%, or it could be maybe starting off at 5.99%. You could be getting either a 2-1 buy down or a 3-1 buy down. It's a temporary buy down. So here's what you need to know. If it's a 2-1 buy down, your interest rate long term for that full 30 years is going to be 5.99%. And then in the first year, though, you're going to be able to have a mortgage payment based on a rate of 2.99. The next year, 3.99. The next year after that, 4.99, and then the year after that, 5.99. Sorry, that's a 3-1 buy down, that example I just gave you. So that's a 3-1 buy down where you start off at 2.99, but then you end at a 5.99% interest rate fixed for 30 years. So what's happening is the seller is prepaying the interest for those first 3 or 4 years that you're doing this so that you get a little bit lower payment. So the first year's payment is here, and then it's going to graduate a little bit higher to here and a little bit higher to here. And then after that 3rd or 4th year, whatever year you're going into on this buy down, that's going to be your permanent rate, and that's going to be a permanent payment going forward. So be careful when you're reading up on all that stuff, because it's not exactly what you think it might be. The builders are getting really tricky in the way that they're talking to you about these 2-1 and 3-1 buy downs. So I will tell you, on the 2-1 and the 3-1 buy down, you can refinance those. So a lot of people think you cannot do that. You can refinance that, and that difference that you would have prepaid in interest, you will get some of that money back to be applied towards your closing costs going forward. So there are some of those strategies out there. I'll tell you another strategy that's out there right now is this down payment assistance. That's a big, big topic right now. There's over 80 different down payment assistance programs here in Maricopa County alone. And then throughout the country, every state's got a little bit different ones. And there's also federal down payment assistance programs. We at Sunflower Bank, we have our own in-house down payment assistance programs. There's lots of programs that are available to you. It depends on your income. It can depend on the location where you're buying. It can just depend on many different factors. So make sure you talk to a good mortgage pro. They'll make sure they put you into the right program that's going to help you the best. Lastly, right now, obviously you've heard this right in this market right now, there's a lot of inventory in Phoenix, especially right now and throughout the country. Homes have been sitting somewhere around 40 to 50 days, and the sellers are getting anxious, and there's a lot of opportunity out there right now. There's a lot of seller concessions for you that you can obtain. So what I tell my clients is this: if your purchase price is, let's say, $400,000, and you think you can knock off maybe $20,000 off the purchase price and buy it at $380,000, well, I would tell you that the better strategy here is to negotiate and pay the $400,000, but negotiate to have seller concessions from that seller back to you, so that you can then apply that money towards buying down your interest rate. Because at the end of the day, it's all about your payment. It's what can you afford. And if you can get seller concessions to come in and we can use it to buy your interest rate down, you're going to have a lower payment than if you bought that house and instead of at $400,000 with seller concessions, at $380,000 with no concessions. So keep that in mind if you're a first-time home buyer and payment is really important to you. Negotiate seller concessions first instead of negotiating them hard on bringing down the price of the home. So that's pretty much it for this week right now. Market is still moving. Things are still happening out there. It's just, you got to look for the right deals. You got to look for those motivated sellers. You got to look for those motivated buyers, and you got to make sure you got the right team working with you. You got to have a great lender who has done their homework on you up front to make sure that you are through underwriting and that you are pre-approved, and they will be able to close that loan. So when you go in to make that offer, you're going in strong. And that way, that when that listing agent gets it, they go, okay, good. We vetted, this person's been vetted. We know we're going to close in 30 days or less. We know this realtor, we know this lender, and we're going to be good to go. So there's a lot of opportunities out there, but make sure you're working with the right team. Reach out if you have any questions, DM me. I'm here to help you out, and I'll stay tuned for next episode. I'm going to make it a great day. We'll talk soon.